on? Is it working? Is it bright outside and hurting my eyes? Yes. Yes, Hello and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today is April 2nd, 2025, and this is episode 131. My name is Roz, and I live in Lake Country, British Columbia, Canada, with my husband and my two kids who are 15 and 13. Whew, that's a mouthful. Welcome to any new viewers. I hope you enjoy this corner of the crafty internet. No, this crafty corner of the internet. What do I usually say? I don't know, something like that. Mix up those words, put them in any order, they mean the same thing. And welcome back to any returning viewers. I always appreciate chatting with you in the comments and on Instagram and Discord. And you can find me in all of those places as Rosberry Crafts, and they are all linked down below, including my email. Any way you want to contact me is good. I love chit-chatting with everybody. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast, this channel, if it's down below here, or maybe in a different place if you're on a different device. And it really helps if you can click the thumbs up button. It really helps other people find this video too. So what are we going to talk about today? My notes are down in the corner here today. I am on my new video camera. It worked out really well. I'm so excited to have a dedicated vlogging camera. And I have big plans. I don't know if they'll happen or when they'll happen. As I have time, they will happen. What am I wearing? Finished objects, works in progress. I think that's about it. I might chat about books at the very end. And you can find all the chapters. If you scroll through here, you should be able to go to the different places that you want to. If you're not interested in some pieces, you're welcome to do that. All right, let's start with what am I wearing. I'm gonna try not to bump it too much, but I wanna show you this beautiful lace. This is my Waiting for Rain shawl, which is a pattern by Sylvia McFadden. I made this a long time ago. And I got it as a kit from Knit City one year from a place called Passion Knits. I think they're still around, I'm not sure actually, but it is Malabrigo Machita yarn. It's a single ply yarn and I love it. It is so soft. It doesn't pill, which I don't, maybe because it's a shawl, I don't know, but it doesn't pill. The dark color is called Unicornio, and then this silver color that has the lace sections in it is called Pearl. And it's a crescent shaped shawl, and I love wearing crescent shapes because they just hang so nicely and keep my neck super warm. Not that it's really cold out today, but it's cold enough in the house. We have some windows open, getting some of that nice, fresh spring air, but it makes it chilly on my neck, so shawl is a good idea. And I am wearing hand knit socks as usual. I am wearing some DK socks today. If I remember, I'll put a picture in here. I knit them recently, but I don't remember any of the details. Let's move on to finished objects. I have two more Woobles. I'm going to pick up this basket so that's easier for me to get stuff. So if you watched last week's episode, I finished a Wooble and started a new one. I finished a new one that my kids had wanted to do. I don't know how Taylor heard about it, and then Cooper saw that we were doing it and he wanted to do some too. So they both did learn how to crochet. Taylor already knew, but she perfected her good stitches. However, they were not super enthused about the type of yarn that came in the kits, and yeah, Cooper's like, okay, I've learned this now, I'm moving on, so that's fine. And they just didn't want to work on them. And I was sick of having all of these bags of kits ready to go, just sitting around. We're in a bit of a spring cleaning mode. So I thought if I just take a couple evenings, I can finish all of these off, and then we have the thing that we want and we don't have all of this extra stuff hanging around. So I finished Taylor's. This is Kiki the chick. The beak is definitely a little odd, but I also think it gives her personality. Anyway, that's super cute. So yeah, that's sitting on Taylor's bookshelf now. And then Cooper had started the strawberry. I don't think it has a name, but he did a really good job of it for never crocheting before, but he just wasn't interested in it, and that's okay. So I finished it off. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy with how this one turned out. Although Mike did say it looks like she has chickenpox. She, he, it, I don't know. But yeah, it's a lot of sewing and finishing, especially these green pieces. You do the leaves and then you do the stem separately, and you have to sew in all the little yellow seeds, which I could have done more, I guess, but anyway. And the mouth and everything, but totally worth it. Super, super cute. They're just so cute. Okay, so we finished both of those. I have 2 kits left, and this one is a cup of coffee. Cooper has called this for his desk because he wants to have a fake cup of coffee on his desk. And then the other one is an octopus. I'm so excited. Jerry the jelly, sorry, it's a jellyfish, not an octopus. Jerry the jellyfish and Joe the coffee mug. So there we go. And then I have all of these kind of bits and ends left from, because they give you a lot of yarn. This is acrylic yarn. I don't even really know the details of it. I never put it in my stash numbers because until I open it, I didn't really know how much there was, and I didn't want to count it all, like figure out how many meters it was. And I knew that the kids were going to be making them, so I just never put it in the stash. So nothing to come out of my stash, unfortunately, except for the amount of just things that are hanging out in my craft room. But what I've decided to do is, let me get that a bit, it's all tangled, is make a basket out of all of the leftovers. And I got to weave in some ends still, but there we go. So I started off with this white because I had a fair bit left over from the bunny. There's a tiny bit of pink next to the black there. There's gray from the raccoon, and now I'm into the yellow from the chick. I've got orange and green, and then this ton of red left. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. I just kind of did a hexagon on the bottom, and it'll be a nice little like yarn bowl that I can take around the house. I don't know if I'll put handles on it or not, but yeah, I'm very excited about this and just using up all the bits instead of just getting rid of them. So that is that. It's not very exciting. That's kind of a work in progress, but it's kind of leftovers, but also kind of not really. It's just stuff at this point that is being made into a usable thing instead of being thrown away. And I, of course, saved all the extra stuffing. I have a giant bag of that polyfill stuffing, so I just kind of stuffed it all in there. And there was extra safety eyes in each of them, so I've tucked those away with my safety eyes. So I think it's been good. I don't know if I would get the Woobles kits again for me, but it was a great way to learn how to crochet. They have video tutorials, picture tutorials. They have just like the base pattern if you just want to go at it. They hold your hand all the way through. They're very cute, very achievable, and they have different levels of them, so you could kind of start off with a beginner one and work up to some of the more advanced ones. So they're definitely worth it. They are on the more expensive side for a kit, but you get literally everything you need, plus all of that instruction. So I think it's worth it. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about the Woobles. Although hopefully I will have the other 2 finished and I will show them to you next week, and then we'll have all the ones that we got done. And next up, I have my sweater. It's finished. Okay, I gotta reach over and get it. Wait, let's show you the front because that's what we really want to see. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I ended up doing a split hem, and the back is a tiny bit longer. I did have about 9 grams left, so I could have done a bit more on it, but I find that if I do it to a certain length, it's good. If I do it longer, I end up just like sitting on the back of it when I sit down, or the front of it gets all kind of crinkled because I sit down a lot. I work at a desk, so, you know, so I sit down a lot. And then the front just looks all crinkled, and then when you stand up, it's got like a weird crease in it. So it has blocked. I blocked it. I've woven in all the ends. I just have to put a little label in the back here. I have got my little package of labels that I got in an Advent swap, and I'm going to sew them into a few of my sweaters that I keep looking at them going, this needs a label so I know which is the back when I put them on. But yeah, oh, it's so, so good. I'm so happy with it. Look at the stitch definition that came with it. Oh, it's so good. And let's go into the details of the pattern. So this pattern is called Favorite Flannel by Alicia Plummer. It is a crew neck, and there is an optional cowl that I did not do because I did not have enough yarn for it. And the one change that I did make is in this neckline. I just did a 1x1 rib instead of the brioche stitch that she has, because the brioche stitch matches the cowl, so then it kind of looks like a funnel neck sweater or a turtleneck sweater instead of just the neckline. But I'm gonna enjoy this a lot. It is quite tight on my neck, but it's so soft, I don't think it'll be a problem. Sometimes I don't like stuff like right up at my neck, but this is very soft, so, and it's not super tight. Anyway, I will show a video in a few minutes. Let's talk about this lovely yarn. This is Fireweed Fiber Co., the Cottonwood DK in the Frosted Heather colorway. This is 100% superwash merino. I did wash this in my washing machine, has a hand wash setting, so it doesn't do a lot of spinning. It's a front load, and you can pick water temperature and all that kind of stuff. And then I do a spin out, so it just spins the water out of it at the end. And then I laid it flat to dry on my sweater dryers. It took about 24 hours to dry. So yeah. The other piece that I forgot to talk about when I was talking about the pattern is I did do a few increases after the waist so that it goes over my hips just a little bit, because this is a bit more fitted lately. I've been doing a few more like oversized kind of boxy style, and I thought this one's a bit more fitted through the top, so I just added a few increases along the bottom so that it fits nicely over my bottom half because it's bigger than my top half. So that is my shape. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm gonna put in a little video at some point here of me wearing the sweater so you can see the fit. I've never done a balloon sleeve before, so hopefully I like it. As I said before, when I was talking about the sleeves last week, if I don't like the sleeves, I will just take back and reknit them with a tapered sleeve instead, which is what was called for in the pattern, but I decided to do this just to have something a little looser because the body is tighter. So anyway, I'm gonna stop waxing poetic about this one now, and I'm very excited, very happy to be wearing that. That is it for finished objects. Let's talk about works in progress. I've got 2 to talk about this week. Now that I've finished my sweater, I needed another kind of mindless project to work on while I was at meetings and such or watching TV, and I picked up my Fork in the Road socks. This is a pattern called Fork in the Road Socks by Lara Neal, and it has a different kind of heel. So you can see this little gold silver stitch marker here on the peach color was where I left off last time I showed this to you, and I've knit quite a few stripes. I had just put in the waist yarn for the heel, and now I've done the heel too, and it looks kind of funny and pointed, but once I get them on my feet it won't be pointed. But yeah, so there's the heel. It's much more of like an even decreasing all the way around instead of kind of a slanted decrease just on each side. And you do actually knit quite a bit flat that you can see before. and all of the details and the numbers are in the pattern. So we'll see. I like the look of it. It's definitely a deeper heel than the OMG heel that I usually use. So we'll see whether that fits nicely or not. It was easy to knit, which is good. Very straightforward to follow. I think would be easily adjustable if you had some numbers that were maybe not, because I think she gives 3 sizes in the pattern. So yeah. Anyway, the yarn is Cozy Knitter in the It's My Birthday colorway. Oh, my computer decided to turn off. There we go. Yeah, It's My Birthday. So yeah, these are fun spring colors. And I've just started, you probably can't even see it on the top here, I've just started the 3x1 ribbing that I do for the leg of my socks. I have quite a few socks that are just plain stockinette up, but I find them a little snug on the upper part of my leg. And then when I get to the ribbing, it's like looser, too loose. So what I've started doing is and I did this for my husband's socks because he likes really tall socks. So I started doing this to give him more stretch as he goes up his calf. Do 3 knits and a purl all the way around. And it just gives that little bit of stretch. But because it's just the 1 purl stitch every 4 stitches, then it doesn't interrupt the striping sequence too much. You still see these beautiful self-striping, and it doesn't look, when you do 1x1 ribbing or something, or 2x2, you kind of get that row where the color changes, that it looks a bit more muddy. But I find with the 1x1, you don't really get that. But anyway, or not 1x1, 3x1. And then eventually, once I get higher up into the cuff, I will do a 1x1 rib because that flows nicely into it, and that's how I like to finish off my socks. Basically, I do my cuffs, I will do it all the way down to where the toe of the sock starts, and then I will do my cuff there. It's kind of the depth that I like. I don't like them too much taller than that, but I don't have that many shorty socks, but I tend not to wear them because then there's like a space between my leggings and my socks, and then what's the point in wearing socks? So if I'm wearing leggings, I'm wearing full socks, and if I'm not wearing leggings and I'm wearing shorts or capris or something, then I'm not wearing socks because it's hot out. So anyway, I have a couple pairs of shorty socks and I do wear them sometimes, so maybe that will change in the future. But yeah, there we go. I have waxed poetic about these for enough, so we should see some decent progress next time because I don't have that many other things on needles. I do have a hat, however. This is my Teal and Stripes Musselburgh hat. Musselburgh is a pattern by Soldateague, and I have knit quite a few of these hats. I have not made very much progress. I've just added more to the gray. With it being spring break, I haven't had to drive my kids or wait for my kids after school or anything, so I've not made very much progress on this, but they are back to school this week and I will be driving down to pick them up today, so definitely we'll get some work on these things as I'm out and about waiting for my kids. The yarn that I'm using is all leftover bits from my stash. This self-striping one is Knit Picks Felici in the Alexandrite colorway, and the gray is Boss Lady Yarn Co. in Mechanics Wrench. And I have quite a few other colors up and coming, but I'll talk about those when I put them into the hat. Okay, tuck this all back in there. Next up is going to be my stash numbers for March 2025, since it's now April, and I am happy to report that my sweater, my favorite flannel sweater, was finished at 11 p.m. on March 31st. So it all counts towards my March numbers. For March of 2025, my yarn in was only my monthly club from Fireweed Fiber Co. So that was 366 meters. Sorry if I'm looking down, I'm just checking my notes in my lovely notebook. Yarn out, I have the Downtown Cowl and the Favorite Flannel, which is totals 1,710 meters. So again, this month I am more out than in, which is thumbs up for me. So that's good. And then overall for the year, yarn in, I have 1,098 meters, and yarn out is 9,219 meters. So my yarn out difference is 8,121 meters. This number is so pleasing to me. I am so proud of myself. Even if it stops here and it doesn't continue, I'm still super happy with my numbers for the first quarter of the year. I am moving in the right direction. It's not that I don't want to have all this beautiful yarn. The problem is that I have all this beautiful yarn that I want to use in projects. So some of it has been just using up stuff from my stash that has been just sitting there forever. Some of it's bits and pieces, which is where the Musselburgh hats come in, because it's so nice just to use up little bits and great, and you just go, and whatever colors are there are great, mostly. And some of it has been like, I have like the one I talked about last time, that cream yarn that I have, or ivory, or whatever color you want to call it, but I've had that in my stash for almost 2 decades. Why is it still sitting there? Why haven't I done anything with it? And I think part of it is because I'm like, it's so precious to me because I have had it for so long. It was from a different time in my life before I had kids, and I had more disposable income, or maybe the same amount. Anyway, it was something that I purchased a long time ago, and I was like, I'm gonna make an amazing sweater with this. And then I wanted to improve some of my knitting skills and be more consistent before I did it. And then years and years went on, and now I'm here with all this beautiful, soft, luxury yarn just sitting there. And I want to use it, I want to have a thing out of it, or even just knit with it. I've gotten to the point where it's just knitting, and if I give away the thing that I made, I've still spent that time with that yarn, enjoyed my craft, and enjoyed my time with it. However, in this case, I would really like to make a cardigan. I still haven't decided which one yet. I think what I'm going to do is actually swatch first before I decide which pattern to do. The only problem with that is that when you have an all over lace pattern on a cardigan, then the swatches really should be in that lace pattern. So I think I'm gonna swatch in a stockinette and see how I feel about it first, because I have lots of yarn. And I can always rip back the swatch if I need it, if I do 5 swatches. So I'm gonna swatch. I'm gonna do this the right way. Same with my favorite flannel. I did 3 swatches. One that I didn't even bother with, and I ripped back before I even blocked it. And then I have 2 other swatches that I did, and I didn't end up needing to rip them out or anything, but because it's worth it to get that right fabric that's gonna make a beautiful sweater that's gonna fit you right. So that is my plan with that. Talking about stash stuff. I still have my monthly club coming from Fireweed Fiber Co., but I get them in 3-month chunks. So April, you'll see probably in a couple weeks. I may have purchased some other yarn to go with some of the yarn that I have in my stash so I can make another project of my dreams, but we'll get there. I'm not super worried about it at this point because I am getting through some of that stash and using up some of that really beautiful yarn that I have just sitting there. And that's the whole point of this, is to use the stuff that I have, but also not preventing myself from buying new stuff. But I'm also being intentional about what I'm purchasing and not just being like, ooh, that's pretty, grab, grab, grab. So that's working for me so far this year. We'll see. My plans change. Maybe in the summer, my plans will change again and I won't even finish the year, but that's working for me right now, and that is good. So that's it for stash. What else is in my notes here? I don't have any finished books this week. I keep starting new books, keep finding more books that I want to read, and a couple came in at the library, but I'm still reading them because I'm reading multiple books at once. I am so close to finishing the M is for Malice by Sue Grafton, and that's a library one I'm reading on my Kobo. I have like, so I'm so close to the end, and but I've been falling asleep instead of reading. So, and then I really want to get back to my Wheel of Time series. The problem is all these holds come up at the library and I get excited about this new thing, and then the physical book that I have literally sitting right there is not being read. So I'm gonna make a priority this week to get that one done and enjoy some reading, especially now that I've gotten my sweater done, because I can read on my Kobo and knit, but I can't read a physical book, especially like a hardcover chunky book, and knit at the same time. I do have like a book stand and book weights and stuff to hold things in place. I just find it too much to actually like flip the pages. Whereas with my Kobo, I can kind of tap it with my knuckle and I can keep knitting and then just tap it and it moves on to the next page. That's more information than you really wanted to know about my book reading or lack of book reading. Hopefully next time I will have a few books to talk about. And before I get too rambly, I'm gonna call this an episode, and we will see you guys again next time. Bye.